Hello and thank you for joining me today. I'm a bit excited about this video today. I have been asked to be a guest designer with the creative design team and their collaboration featuring back to school projects. I have grown-up children. One is at uni or she's on a hiatus at the moment. The other is with full-time work. But this project that I'm sharing today could suit anybody from kindergarten age through to adult learning, or even for people who just like to learn new things all the time. So hopefully when I put this together, you will see that it's got a variety of uses across all sorts of interests and fields. The products that I'm going to be using today are some Picture My Life cards from Smarty Pants, a few little bits of paper from Smarty Pants that I have left over. There's stickers from Smarty Pants, but also I'm going to use some noteworthy paper. You can see the little grid dot here, this lined paper. I really love this noteworthy pack. This is the rest of the papers that you get in the pack. One side of it has a white base and the other side has a more distressed look. So I can see this being used for so many different layouts as either background pieces, strips, or places to put journaling. And the zip strips are very, very cool. It's, I think, one of my favorite packs out of the new core catalog. So let's jump into getting this page put together. I've got my PML cards out that I'm going to use. And the first thing I'm going to do, I've got a background piece that's sapphire, and I'm going to trim this other layer here down to 11.5 by 11.5 inches. So I'm just going to remove the zip strip and then trim 1/2 inch off each side. And I want to do some distressing around the edges of this, so I'm going to bring in some pumice stone. And this is going to match in with the index cards that I'm doing. So I'll just quickly go through and do that. I'm going to adhere my background just with some dot roller to my mat. I know I've got a lot of pieces to put onto this and I don't want it shifting around. And I'm also going to put a little bit of adhesive there so that I can put this piece down and it won't move either. The next step I'm going to do with this is to create some index cards, and I'm going to have them running down the side, the edges here. So what I'm going to do is stamp some titles. So these are from this date stamp set. So you get the actual card section, but then you get a whole lot of months, dates, days, and some little sayings to go with that as well. So I'm going to give these a title, and I'm going to use the Prairie alphabet and sapphire ink. And when I use these, I have them attached. When I have small letters like this and I know I'm going to be doing a title, I put them on both sides of my block because I can see through. And for this, I am going to stamp off and do second generation stamping with the sapphire ink because I don't want it to be too strong. And because this is a fun font, it doesn't matter if it's not all on one line. I quite like it being like that. And then I'm going to do the same treatment with these cards and use, what am I using? Pumice stone, forgot the name of it. And go around the edges to match in with what I did to this grid or dot paper. And then I'm going to lay them down the side of my page here. I've gone ahead and I've already done play and learn. So I'm going to do read, learn, play, and I'm going to do a little bit of a dry fit with what I'm doing because I want a couple of banners coming off the edge as well. And I've got a photo mat here because I'm going to do some background stamping with this date stamp set. So I'm going to use this and I'm going to show a bit of a fun way to use this without taking it off the carrier sheet. I'm just going to cut these down and then put banners in the edge. And I'm not really measuring this at all. My first one about here. And this one I'm going to cut about 1.25 inches off. And then I'm going to cut banners into the ends of these. And also go around the edges of these with Puma Stone. It's good to put a bit of ink around the edges, especially when you're doing a pattern and it's got the white areas. It's a bit too much white on white. Sometimes you can't quite pick up the differentiation of the papers, and you want some separation between the two patterns. And even though this is mostly like a charcoal grey, there are sections of this with the white of the pattern from the ledger paper that I want to have the distress look on the edge. So this is the basis of my layout, and I know that I want to do some stamping. So I'm just going to get my pencil out and roughly put where the edges of these are so that I can do some background stamping. I'm going to take all of this away. Pick this up and leave it on my carrier sheet. I'm going to turn it upside down, and with pewter ink, I'm just going to get my sponge dauber because I don't want the complete image. You can ink all this up. I've seen Katy Taylor do this quite a lot with her pages and ink up the whole thing, but what I want to do for this is just have part of it coming out. And I'm going to change up where I ink both times. You can put this straight down onto the ink pad, but I want to try and control the parts that I'm getting. And you can go back, and while there's still ink on there, you can grab some more of it. So you can see that's giving a bit of a distressed look. And I'm just being mindful of where things are on my layout. I'm just going to come back in, put these pieces down again, and see if I've got things where I want it before I pack this section up. And I think I might put just a little bit here, some of the numbers. And I quite like how that has come out. So I'm ready to adhere everything down. And I've got a fun little pocket design to show you as well, and that all comes with part of these date stamps. You get a thin cut to cut out the library card element, but you also get a thin cut that will create a little pocket, which is really, really fun. And you can use this on cards or gift cards, and you can slide a little gift card in there, or you could make it as a interactive element, but I'm going to use it today as part of my layout, and it will be a journaling spot. And these lists can list what you're reading now, what you like to play and do. For me, it's playing with paper. It's one of my favourite things to do ever. And things that I like to learn. Like, I love to learn new techniques with crafting, also cooking, and all sorts of different things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just a back to school type layout, what I'm creating today. Now I'm going to put down the pocket that I'm creating. So I've already gone ahead and cut this with sapphire cardstock. You could cut them out of PML cards. So you can, this was a 6x4 PML card. So I've just put the thin cut over the area that I want to cut. I'll just pull one out so I can show you. So if you wanted to use this for a little pocket card, you could position that and make it out of these cool words and cut that straight out. You would actually get 2 out of a 6x4 PML card. If you have a 3x4 card, this one I wouldn't do because it would cut off, but you could cut it out of a 3x4 card as well. You just need to position it where you want the pieces to be. And you can see it puts the score lines on it. So that makes the little pocket. But today I'm just using the sapphire, and the score lines are on there. I always like to burnish them, which makes it very easy to put this together. You can see that the seams are mitered. They don't actually overlap, so that will reduce the amount of bulk on your page. I'll just adhere my photo mat. So it's going to go here, and then I'm going to have this as my pocket, and I'm going to decorate this with another PML card. So to adhere this down, because I want fairly strong adhesive, I'm just going to use this white Tombow glue because that has a very good hold. And I'll position this on my page, knowing that I'm going to have some more of these cards to pop in. And I need to weight that down with something. And while that's getting weighted down and adhering to the page, I'm going to trim these words down because they're the ones I want to put on top of the pocket. And I'm going to have these running down like this with this little piece sticking up because these are the cards I'm going to use for the journaling, but I'm going to have them stuck in like this. I'm going to adhere them as I go, but first I'm going to position them. A little bit's going to come off the photo, and then this one I'm going to actually put in upside down for the journaling. And to bring in some more of the green here, because now I'm ready to decorate, I'm going to put a title across the top here. And I'm going to use this PML card from Smarty Pants and this little speech bubble. And I'm going to stamp the title with the Daisy alphabet. This is one of the new alphabets. Closer to me so I can see a little bit better. I'm sorry if my head is getting away here. And I know I've got to put the O on the end. And now I've taken all the letters off. Normally I would put this onto a smaller block, but I think I should be right, as long as I don't get ink all the way around here. And I love our see-through blocks. It makes it so much easier to line things up. And then I can fussy cut around this one. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white edge, and I always find it easier to trim it down a little bit first so I don't have quite as much paper overhanging. So when I'm fussy cutting, I always just turn the paper and follow the lines rather than turning the scissors. I'm going to put it off the edge here, and I think what I might do is bring back my state stamp and just add a little bit more over to this corner here. I'll just pick up some numbers because I've got some words here. And that adds a little bit more interest down there. And I'm going to actually do a little bit more here as well. So I'm just going to get a post-it note. And cover off this edge. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want to stamp all over this area. And I think instead of having my title following the line of the photo, I'm just going to put it straight so that it matches up the edge here. And then I'm going to bring in some more embellishments. I'm going to pop these little glasses up on foam tape as well. I'm just going to take the sticky off with my little anti-static pouch. And because these are going to go over the photo a little bit, I'm just going to remove the left side and leave the right side with the foam tape on it still. And this brings a little bit more of the green in and balances it out. And then I've got this book sticker, and I think I'll pop that up on foam tape as well. It's going to run right along the bottom here of the photo and just have the glasses peeking through, and I'm just being careful not to put the foam tape where the photo is. And I've got a PML card here that I think I might like to pop in behind, just to add a little bit more fun to the page. I'll just trim off the edge of that. I'm okay with hiding this red pencil because there really isn't any other red on the page. So that can tuck in there. Just want a little bit of it popping out. So I've taken this off my mat and I've rubbed away with our rub and remove the adhesive that's on there, and now I'm just going to trim with my scissors these areas that are hanging off the edge of my page. Here's my finished layout. I wanted to point out a couple of extra touches that I've added to this. You can see some little green strips on the edges here. These have actually been cut from the pieces from the PML card that are cut down here. And I've added some white gel pen stitching along the edges of those, around this PML card, the pocket, and also around this ledger paper banner. And with these note cards, I've run my fingernail along the edges to give a little bit more texture, just to rough them up a little bit, and also flicked these with my fingers to give a little bit more dimension to the page. The dots that you can see here, I've coloured with tri-blend markers to match because I didn't have any sapphire or avocado toned ones. These ones here are actually from my stash, and I've just coloured them with the True Blue Shades marker. And these are the clear sparkles, and I've used dull green to match in with this avocado and sapphire colour. I will put some still shots up at the end of the video so that you can have a look at some of these elements closer up. Before I go, I'd like to mention the 31 Days of Christmas Cards event that the creative design team are putting on for the month of October, and have kindly asked me to be a guest designer with them on this project as well. We can't wait to share what we have been creating, and registrations will be open until the end of September. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to check out all of the other design teams' contributions to the Back to School collaboration. I will have links to all of their videos in the description below.